You want more money, you want a better life, you want a better lifestyle. And I'm not going to tell you that's wrong, but I am going to tell you something that most men don't want to hear. You haven't mastered what you already have. You haven't mastered the level that you're at. You're not operating at peak diligence. You're not congruent. You're not in alignment at the level and at the standard that you need to be for you to be even thinking about going to the next level. You're not even showing up consistently or as much as you need to be. And yet you're asking the universe, you're asking life, you're asking God for more. That's where the problem lies. Now, let's dive into this. Let's talk about the threshold principle. You have to master the level you're on. Okay, if you look at life, it's like a video game. In video games, you have to pass the level that you're at. You have to beat the boss of that current level. You have to be able to get through the task in an efficient way in order to win or get the points required for you to get to that next level. You have to clear the one that you're on first. Men who want to jump levels without beating the current one are trying to skip the test, right? Because every new level that you're going to go through, there's a new test that you have to pass. And a lot of men haven't passed the test of the level that they're currently on, but still want to move on to the next level. And life doesn't grant upgrades to people who haven't earned them. It just keeps sending the same lessons in different packaging. So until you master the emotions, the disciplines, the diligence, the mindset, all of the things that are required, until you become the man that is required to exceed the current level that you're on, you won't be able to get to that next level. Because you truly haven't even earned it. Okay, now this is the threshold principle. In order to expand into higher levels, we must master the current level that we're on. And earlier I mentioned peak diligence. This is how you know that you've mastered your current level. If you're operating at peak diligence and you're not growing and you're not expanding, then that's how you know. Now, what is peak diligence? Like, are you waking up at the time that you said you would? Are you doing the work you committed to? Are you keeping your word with yourself? Are you keeping your word with yourself? That's probably the most important. And diligence is a 24/7 job. How you do something is how you do everything. How you do the smallest thing is how you do the biggest thing. So this is something that has to be, are you operating at that level all the time? Not just when you feel like it. You know, a wise man told me that commitment is doing what you said you would do long after the mood that you said it in has left. Are you honoring your word to yourself? And most men have a wide gap between who they say they are and how they actually move daily. And that gap is why the results aren't coming in as you would like them to. Now, internal incongruence blocks external results. What does that mean? When we're looking at things from a metaphysical perspective, like when your actions don't match your identity, you create internal resistance. So when you have this identity of this version of yourself, of you operating at this level where you're successful, you're disciplined, you're diligent, but at moments your actions don't align with that and aren't congruent with that, that creates internal chaos, internal static, internal resistance. And your frequency is split. Right? You're vibrating at average man behavior while praying for like exceptional man results. Right? So your vibration is average, but you're expecting greatness. And that's not how reality works. Reality reflects congruency. Reality respects congruency. Reality respects alignment. Because reality reflects coherence. So what you put out has to be coherent with what you're asking for. So if you're not operating at a level, you should already be operating at the next level when you're exceeding the current level. That's how you exceed the current level, is because you're operating at a frequency that's above it. Now, the three areas men are most incongruent in: income, right? Wanting to earn more, but not sharpening your skill, not being coachable, not fully showing up at your current hustle, your current role, or what you do, and not operating at peak diligence when it comes to what you do for income. Peak diligence. I've never heard anybody use that term. If you hear people start saying peak diligence, you know where it came from. Another area is relationships and women. Wanting high value women, but not being a high value man. Incongruence. Not working on your communication, your presence, your emotional regulation. Next is body and health. Wanting a better physique, but not being disciplined with sleep, food, training consistently. And my physique didn't really go to the next level until I changed my workout routine. I started operating at a different level. I started doing workouts. I started to be in the gym more. I started to push myself more. I started running. All of these different things. So there's something that you want. There's a version of yourself that you want to become. The question always remains, are you willing to do what's required to become that version of yourself? Are you willing to do what's required to become that version of yourself? Do you deserve more? What is the real meaning of deserving more? This isn't about worthiness in a soft sense. It's about energetic alignment. You deserve what you are, not what you want. You know, my favorite quote of all time, and I have so many favorite quotes, but my favorite of all time is, you don't get out of life what you want, you get out of life who you are. So when you operate at your highest level consistently, more begins to flow naturally. And it's not because you forced it, but because that's universal law. You've now become the version of yourself, and there's a version of reality that matches up and aligns with that version of self. And that is what manifests into the three-dimensional physical reality. But you have to align with that identity first. And you have to operate at peak diligence as well. So if you're ready to ask for more, if you know you truly deserve more, Like the main question, like to actually provide that clarity is, am I operating at my ceiling right now, or am I coasting? Am I operating at peak capacity in terms of diligence, discipline, efficiency? If I had what I'm asking for today, would I be able to hold it? Is the gap between my identity and my action small or large? The call is to master the now. Stop looking at the horizon. Stop looking at the future. Master what's in front of you. Be diligent with what you have. And from doing so, you'll be able to access new levels. Right? Master the moment, because that's all life is, a series of moments. Peace, love, and abundance, everybody. MJ the Mastermind signing out. If you got value from this, make sure to like and subscribe. Peace.